in the hushed and hallowed grounds of our oldest cemeteries, where time seems to stand still amongst the weathered stones and weeping willows, lie stories not just of lives lived, but of beliefs, fears, and hopes etched in stone. These silent cities of the dead are more than just final resting places. They are open-air museums, whispering the forgotten languages of grief and remembrance. Today, we shall wander through these solemn landscapes, not with morbid curiosity, but with an eye for the cryptic tales told by the graves themselves. We'll unearth the meanings behind the intricate carvings, discover peculiar traditions, and listen to the faint echoes of history that resonate from beneath our feet. Join us as we pull back the veil and explore the fascinating lore and symbolism of old cemeteries. Walk with me down these shaded paths, and you'll notice the gravestones are not mere slabs of granite or marble. They are canvases adorned with a rich tapestry of symbols, a visual shorthand for a life story, its virtues, and the sorrow of its conclusion. These carvings were deeply understood by our ancestors, a universal language for a largely illiterate population. An anchor, for instance, wasn't just for a sailor. It was a powerful emblem of hope, the soulless steadfast hold in the stormy seas of life and the promise of a safe harbor in the afterlife. You might see a lamb, its gentle form often marking the grave of a child, a poignant symbol of innocence and purity. A broken column or a tree stump speaks of a life cut tragically short, a promising existence suddenly halted before its prime. Look closer at the hands carved into the stone. Two hands clasped together signify a final, poignant farewell, a bond of love or friendship that even death cannot sever. A single hand pointing upwards directs the viewer's gaze towards heaven, a sign of the soul's ascension and the hope of divine reward. Conversely, a hand pointing down does not signify damnation, as one might morbidly assume. Instead, it represents the hand of God reaching down from the heavens to guide the departed soul home. An open book carved upon a grave can represent many things. The Bible, the book of life, where the deeds of the deceased are recorded, or a tribute to a scholar, teacher, or writer. Even the flora has a language of its own. Oak leaves and acorns symbolize strength and endurance. Ivy represents evergreen memory and undying affection, while the poppy, with its narcotic properties, signifies eternal sleep. Each symbol is a piece of a puzzle, a quiet testament to how our forebears navigated the profound mystery of death, using art to express what words often could not. Beyond the silent language of stone, cemeteries are home to some truly fascinating and peculiar historical facts. Consider the humble grave marker itself. While we envision master stonemasons toiling away on unique memorials, the reality for many was far more commercial. By the late 19th and early 20th centuries, you could order a tombstone from a mail-order catalog, much like you would a piece of furniture or a new dress. Companies like Sears, Roebuck & Co. offered a wide selection of monuments, from simple markers to elaborate statues, shipped by rail to even the most remote corners of the country. This democratization of memorialization allowed families of modest means to erect lasting tributes to their loved ones. Even more curious were the markers made of white bronze, which was not bronze at all, but rather sand-cast zinc, marketed as eternal air. These hollow, bluish-gray metal monuments were sold as a more durable and modern alternative to stone, which was prone to weathering and staining. Salesmen touted their resistance to the elements and their crisp, detailed casting. But these hollow markers had an unforeseen and rather scandalous secondary use. During the Prohibition era, from 1920 to 1933, their hollow interiors and removable panels made them the perfect clandestine hiding spots. Bootleggers and ordinary citizens alike would stash bottles of illicit whiskey and gin inside family memorials, turning a place of solemn remembrance into a secret and surprisingly secure liquor cabinet. It gives a whole new meaning to the term raising spirits. A particularly moving tradition, often seen in military or national cemeteries, is the practice of leaving coins on the headstones of service members. This is not a random act of littering, but a profound, unspoken system of honor and remembrance. Each coin carries a specific meaning. Leaving a penny signifies that you have visited and paid your respects. A nickel means that you and the deceased trained at boot camp together. A dime indicates that you served with them in some capacity. The most significant coin is the quarter. Placing one on a grave means that you were with the service member when they were killed. This simple, silent ritual allows veterans to communicate with the family of the fallen and with each other, creating a chain of remembrance that assures the family their loved one as sacrifice has not been forgotten by their comrades in arms. It is a powerful testament to the bonds forged in service and the enduring respect for those who made the ultimate sacrifice. Our final stop on this journey into the past brings us to one of the most chilling and macabre inventions of the Victorian era: the safety coffin. In a time before modern medicine could definitively distinguish a deep coma from death, the fear of being buried alive, or taphophobia, was rampant and terrifyingly real. Newspapers and Gothic literature, including the Tales of Edgar Allan Poe, were filled with gruesome accounts of premature burials, stoking public anxiety to a fever pitch. Inventors, ever the opportunists, responded with a plethora of devices designed to allow a corpse to signal for help from 6 feet under. The most common and iconic of these inventions was the cemetery bell. A complex system of ropes and pulleys would be attached to the hands of the deceased, running up through the coffin lid, through the earth, and connected to a small bell housed in a protective structure above the grave. The idea was simple. If the person were to awaken, the slightest movement would ring the bell, alerting a night watchman or a passing mourner to their dreadful predicament. This is the very origin of the phrases "saved by the bell" and "dead ringer." While there are no authenticated cases of anyone actually being saved by such a device, their existence speaks volumes about the Victorian psychoculture. Deeply obsessed with the elaborate rituals of death, yet terrified by its finality and potential for error, the image of a lone bell standing sentinel in a silent, moonlit graveyard is a haunting reminder of a time when the line between life and death was frighteningly thin. From the silent poetry of a carved flower to the desperate ingenuity of a safety bell, the lore of the old cemetery is a profound reflection of our own humanity. These sacred grounds are not places to be feared, but to be They teach us that grief, love, and the desire to be remembered are timeless human impulses. As we leave these quiet residents to their eternal slumber, we carry with us a deeper appreciation for the stories they tell. The next time you find yourself wandering amongst the stones, pause and look closer. You are not just in a graveyard. You are in a library of souls, and every single marker has a story waiting to be told, if only you know how to listen.